Great. It is Wednesday morning. We welcome you to this edition of TIN European Union live on ZNBC Radio 2. Remember, we are on every Wednesday and, of course, Fridays, talking nothing but, hey, a lot of cooperation between the European Union and many other projects that run within, our country and, of course, the continent at large. This particular morning, we'll be discussing the issue to do with why the European Investment Bank, EIB, works with the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund in supporting ventures working with smallholder farmers. My guest will be speaking to me from Malawi, and this is none other than Mr. Filipe Marques. Good to have you on our TIN European Union edition for this morning. Great. And of course, Mr. Marques is, team leader and of course, SME and Agri-Finance expert. Not forgetting that he is also an international advisor with the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. So that is, just for our listener out there to get that understanding. Once again, we thank you very much for joining us on this edition of the program. Let's set the ball rolling, Mr. Marques, by maybe you sharing with us on this project and how it is EIB working in Zambia, and of course the support of the smallholder farmers and who you are working with in terms of partners.
The European Investment Bank is the world's largest international public bank. It's owned by the 27 European Union member states, and in fact has been present in Zambia since 1978. So they have been supporting many energy, water, transport, and financial sector projects with MSMEs over there. With regards to this specific facility, so to support the long-term investment funding needs, the EIB set up a 45 million euro facility to Zambia to support agriculture value chain businesses. And this is complemented by a 13.3 million euro risk sharing that is being provided by the EU delegation and climate smart agriculture. And so they have average loan tenors for businesses and for companies. In the end, should also reflect this need for a long-term investment. So far, as I mentioned, so the overall package is 45 million euro. The first partner that we have in Zambia that we are very happy to have is Zanaco. So they signed already a 50 million euro loan with Zanaco that is complemented by a part of a risk sharing that was arranged with the strong support of the EU delegation in Zambia and the European Commission. And this will allow to provide finance for up to 7 years to private sector companies involved in agriculture sector across Zambia.
Right. So, Mr. Marques, in short, you were telling us that you mainly work with Zambian banks to implement this project.
It's intermediate lending. EIB has a development mandate, and to do so also to support the local economies, in this case, the Zambian economy. It's not to compete, let's put it like this, to the commercial banks. So basically, EIB provides or can provide lending to the commercial banks, so that the banks can then on lend to eligible projects. What I can say is that the current, there's already a second financial institution in Zambia that very soon is expected to be approved. And there's already a third that is expected to join on the second half of this year. And with this, the 45 million euro will be allocated to the financial sector.
Right. Maybe for the sake of those that are just joining us on this discussion this particular morning, how do you coordinate with the enterprise project?
So basically, the EIB credit facility is integrated, let's put it like this, in a wider European Union program over there in Zambia that is called the Support to Sustainable Commercialization of Zambia's Smallholder Farmers. and the EU through the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund. They operate this grant program also to eligible projects. The link between EIB, in this case, in these sister projects, let's put it like this, it's very close. So basically, the team, our team, and the Enterprise Zambia team, I can say that if not in a weekly basis, almost sometimes in a daily basis, they discuss the projects that have been supported by the grant for the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund, and discuss what would be the funding needs. This is also very important because Zanaco also played a very big role on this. And for instance, even last week, myself and Mr. Shell, Zanaco Head of Agriculture, attended over there in Lusaka the fourth call proposal development workshop from the Enterprise Zambia that allowed us to explain the companies that are running now for the fourth call, to explain the eligibility criteria for the EIB facility, and at the same time also how does Zanaco assess. This will, in the end, will enable the companies to present more detailed investment projects, so that when it goes to the banks, it can be more easily financeable, let's put it like this.
Right, are you listening to T in European Union live on ZNBC Radio 2? We take a short break and we'll be back on the other side. Indeed, right. My guest on this morning's edition of T in European Union is Mr. Filipe Marques, who is speaking to us via line from Malawi, right here in the other part of Africa. Remember that Malawi is just a neighboring country to Zambia, and we are asking the question, why does the European Investment Bank EIB work with the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund in supporting ventures working with smallholder farmers? And we know very well that Mr. Marques is SME and of course Agri-Finance expert, also international advisor with the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. Now, Mr. Marques, how much support has been given so far in terms of this project?
I think a pipeline of around $7 million. I've been there in the last couple of months, almost on a monthly basis. I've been there between 1 and 2 weeks per month to visit projects from Zanaco. So as I said, EIB doesn't provide the funding immediately, so that they have to be eligible projects and to comply with the guidelines of the EU and the EIB, especially with the environmental and social aspects, and also to really assess to how far these projects are integrating smallholder farmers in the value chains. They need to be visited by the team, by myself, and also the other key experts that are part of the team. But although so far no disbursement has been made, we already have around 7 million in pipeline that we visit. So hopefully soon they'll be approved. And if all goes well, we expect to receive the second allocation very soon also from Zanaco.
So how do you see the future of access to finance for smallholder farmers? Will digitalization be a main factor?
On my point of view and with my experience in the ground here, I can tell you that it will not be a main factor. It will be, on my view, the factor. We cannot forget that first, we need to understand that banks, the business of banks is to lend money. But the money that the banks lend is the money of the depositors. So it's your money, it's the money of your business, of your revenue. So this means that they have to be extra careful to whom they lend the money. And of course, that being a smallholder farm in a rural area makes it far difficult for a bank to set up a branch And if you don't have a record, makes it also difficult how to assess the credibility or the credit risk of this client. Usually I always give a very simple example, that is, if you have a family or a friend that already asked you for money, it's someone that you know, and still we are always very careful. What do you want the money for? How will you be able to repay me? So you make questions, you need to know the person. So of course that is, if you don't have a point near to that can allow you to interact, makes it more challenging for the banks, in this case not Zanaco, but the financial sector in general, to know the clients. This can be solved with digitalization. So whenever smallholder farmer is able to use the mobile phone to receive money, to send money, to do some operations, and we cannot forget that a smallholder farmer is a business. He needs savings, but he also needs credit. So it's like a smaller business, but still it's a business on itself. So again, digitalization will play a huge role on being able to provide access to finance to smallholder farmers in a faster and cheaper way. Also, another thing that we also need to understand is that the interest rate that the banks charge is the profit, yes, but it's the profit where the bank also needs to pay the salaries, the operational costs, the risk of the clients that don't pay, and the need to reimburse to the clients that didn't pay. So there's a lot of things embedded, let's put it like this, on an interest rate. Of course, that by reducing the operational costs, and again, this can be done by the digital transactions, this will have a huge benefit for the smallholder farmers. So long story short, yes, and it's challenging, but digitalization will be one of the key factors to solve that problem.
Right. I know that you've alluded to some of the benefits that comes with the entire project. But as we conclude, what will be the impact of your intervention at the end of this project?
So, as part of Team Europe, the idea is it's key to support a sector that is part of the backbone of Zambia economy. You cannot dissociate Zambia and agriculture, and especially with a sector that has been so much impacted by the COVID-19 challenges. So when the EIB provides funding, or in the EIB when they provide this 45 million euro funding, in fact, EIB only provides support up to 50% of the investment costs. The rest will have to be the local financial institutions to be complemented, which in the end will mean that there'll be 90 million euro support to the agriculture sector in Zambia. So directly or indirectly, it's expected that many SMEs and thousands of smallholder farmers and agriculture cooperatives in Zambia will benefit from this long-term finance to be able to accelerate investments, to improve productivity in the farming, and of course that in agriculture processing as well.
Right, Mr. Marques, I would like to thank you very much for finding time to discuss with us this very important topic on our edition of Tea in the European Union.
My pleasure. Invitation.
Great. So there you have it. We've been speaking to Mr. Filipe Marques live from Malawi, where he is right now, and we've been, unbundling the question: why does the European Investment Bank (EIB) work with the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund in supporting ventures working with smallholder farmers? Until next time around on Tea in the European Union, my name is Dennis Lucan. Always remember to join us every Wednesday and Fridays at 7:30, and we should be having that tea. Good morning.